Welcome back. In this video, we're going to take a look at when we're aiming, we would like to be walking and keeping that rifle steady. So we're going to take a look at our Anim starter pack. And if we scroll down, you'll see that there is a walking rifle iron sights. There's a backward, a forward, a left, and a right. So we're going to go ahead and retarget these. And if we take a look at the walk forward rifle iron sights, you'll see that the character is walking forward and holding the weapon steady and aiming that weapon. So this is going to look good for when we are aiming. So let's go ahead and take our walk backward rifle iron sights and retarget it. So retarget, duplicate anim assets and retarget, Bellica skeleton and retarget. And we will double click on this and you'll see that it looks pretty good. I mean, yes, the left hand isn't quite on the right spot, and that's because this animation is made for a different kind of weapon, but we are going to take care of that left hand with inverse kinematics in a future video as promised. So we're going to take care of that later. For now, this looks good, so I'm going to close that and go back into the Anim starter pack and go to walk forward rifle iron sights. I'm going to retarget this one as well. There it is. I'm going to go back and scroll down and get the walk left rifle iron sights. Let's retarget this animation. And finally, I'll go back into Anim starter pack and get the walk right rifle iron sights. Let's go ahead and retarget this one as well. And now we have backward, forward, left, and right. And I'm going to drag these into character/animations and move here. Perfect. Now, here in the animations folder, I'm going to create a blend space similar to our crouch blend space. It's going to be a blend space 1D. And if we open up crouch blend space, you'll see in the asset details that the axis goes from -180 to 180. And we have a name for this called offset yaw. Now let's go ahead and create a similar blend space for aiming. So let's do a right click, animation, and blend space 1D, and select Bellica skeleton. And this is going to be aim walk blend space. And we'll double click aim walk blend space, and we'll call this offset yaw. We'll give this a minimum axis value of -180, oops, not 18, -180, and a maximum value of +180. Number of grid divisions is 4. That looks good. And we'll go ahead and type in walk, and we have walk backward rifle iron sights. That's going to be for -180 and +180. We have walk forward, that's going to be in the middle. We have walk left, that's going to be to the left, and walk right is going to be to the right. And so we can blend between these, and you'll see that Bellica is walking in different directions while keeping that rifle steady. Okay, so this looks good. We can save this, and we need to use this blend space when we are aiming. So let's go back into our character folder, open shooter anim BP, and go into our anim graph. Now in our anim graph, we're going to want to go out into the ground locomotion state and go into run, where we're using our running blend space. Now we only want to use our running blend space if we're not aiming, but if we are aiming, we want to use our aim walk blend space. Let's drag that in, and here's our aim walk blend space. And we can use this movement offset yaw. Let's go ahead and copy that and plug that in. And now we have two different things to choose from based on whether or not we're aiming. And if we right click and type aiming, we have our aiming Boolean. So everything is set up here. All we need to do is choose the correct animation based on this Boolean. And to do that, we use a blend poses by bool node. So we give aiming in as the condition, and if aiming is true, then we want to use our aim walk blend space. And if aiming is false, then we use our running blend space. So aim walk blend space will go into the true pose, running blend space will go into the false pose. We'll hook this up, compile, save, and let's give this a test run. Okay, so here we are, we're running, and if I aim, Now she's walking. That looks really good. And the only thing that I might want to change here is if we are aiming, we might want to slow down our movement speed. So we can do that on the C++ side. We want to make sure that we are updating our movement speed when we're aiming. So let's go back into shooter.cpp, shootercharacter.cpp rather, and let's take a look at where we're using the be aiming Boolean. Here we have our aiming button pressed and aiming button released. Now, as it stands, all we're doing is setting this Boolean to true, but we can also change our movement speed. Now, in the future, if we use this button for anything else, then we'd want to use a separate function to check our state and make sure that we actually want to do these things when we press this button. But as it stands right now, that left trigger button or that right mouse button only causes us to aim, and so we can have all the logic in this function for now. So we're going to get character movement to get the movement component, and we're going to get that max walk speed, and we're going to set that equal to a slower value. And I think that we can use the crouch movement speed, because that's just about the correct speed that we would want. Now, as soon as we release that aiming button, we want to get that movement speed back up to the base movement speed. However, if we are crouching, we don't really want to change it, so we need to check to see if we are not crouching. So if not be crouching, if we're not crouching, then we can set our movement speed back to the base movement speed. Like that. Because if we are crouching and we set our movement speed back up to our base movement speed, then we'll suddenly be moving really fast while we're crouching, and we don't want that. Okay, let's go ahead and compile this. All right, we're back in the editor, and we will go ahead and start running, and we will aim, and we are moving more slowly. And then, of course, we go back to normal. Now, if we aim while we're crouching, and we go back, we're still moving slowly because we're crouching. So that looks good as well. Okay, so we're still kind of moving the rifle around a little bit, and that's just because of the animations we're using. Kind of hard to get around that unless we use animations that are not moving around. We'll go ahead and end the video here, and we will continue in the next video with our game. Stay tuned.